Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. Life will test you. It will push you, challenge you, and sometimes knock you flat on your back. But hear me when I say this. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is you. Faith is the foundation of every great achievement. It is the voice inside you that whispers, "You can do this," even when everything around you says otherwise. It's the belief that you were created for something greater, that your purpose is bigger than your current situation. But here's the truth. Faith and fear cannot operate in the same space. You either move forward in faith or stand still in fear. The choice is yours. Fear is a liar. It will tell you that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, that you'll fail before you even start. Fear magnifies your weaknesses, your past mistakes, and your insecurities. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of hesitation, doubting your abilities, and second-guessing every decision. And if you let it, fear will paralyze you. It will keep you from stepping into your destiny, from reaching your full potential, from living the life you were meant to live. Faith, on the other hand, is the antidote to fear. Faith says, "I may not have all the answers, but I trust that the path will be made clear." Faith says, "I may not feel ready, but I'm stepping out anyway." Faith doesn't wait for everything to be perfect. It moves despite the obstacles, despite the uncertainty, despite the fear itself. But let's be real. Having faith isn't always easy. It's easy to believe when things are going well, when doors are opening, when opportunities are flowing. But what about when nothing seems to be working? What about when you've tried and failed, when you've been rejected, when life knocks you down over and over again? That's when real faith is tested. Faith isn't just about believing when it's convenient. It's about believing when it's hard. It's about trusting that even in the setbacks, even in the delays, even in the moments of doubt, you are still on the right path. It's about knowing that failure is not final unless you quit. It's about understanding that every challenge is shaping you, preparing you, molding you into the person you need to become. Too many people let fear dictate their lives. They let fear talk them out of dreams, out of opportunities, out of their purpose. They wait for the perfect moment, the right time, the absolute certainty that everything will work out. But there is no perfect moment. There is no guaranteed path. There is only now. And now is the time to move in faith. Look at the people who have achieved great things. They weren't always the smartest, the most talented, or the most experienced. But they had faith. They believed in themselves when no one else did. They pushed through doubt, rejection, and criticism. They refused to let fear win, and because of that, they succeeded. You have that same power, you have that same ability, but you have to decide that faith will lead you, not fear. You have to decide that no matter how uncertain the road ahead looks, you will trust the process. You will trust that every step forward, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goals. Fear will always be there. It will whisper in your ear, try to shake your confidence, try to make you question everything. But faith is louder, if you let it be. Faith will push you when you feel like quitting. Faith will remind you why you started. Faith will carry you through the darkest moments, through the toughest battles, through the times when it feels like nothing is working. Because faith isn't about what you see, it's about what you know deep inside. That you are capable, that you are strong, and that your purpose is worth fighting for. Taking the first step is often the hardest part of any journey. It's the moment when doubt creeps in, when excuses start to pile up, and when fear of the unknown tries to hold you back. But nothing, absolutely nothing, happens until you make a move. You can have all the talent, all the potential, and all the dreams in the world, but if you don't take action, none of it matters. Action is what separates those who succeed from those who only wish for success. Many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for the right time, waiting until they feel ready. But the truth is, you will never feel 100% ready. You will never have every single answer before you begin. If you wait for everything to align perfectly, you'll be waiting forever. The people who achieve greatness don't wait, they start. They take the first step even when they don't know what the second step looks like. They move forward even when they're scared. They understand that progress is made in motion, not in hesitation. Think about a baby learning to walk. That baby doesn't wait until they've mastered balance before taking their first step. They just go for it. They stumble, they fall, they get back up, and they try again. Eventually, step by step, they learn to walk. Then they learn to run. But none of that would happen if they never took that very first step. Your dreams work the same way. You might not have all the skills right now. You might not know every detail of how you're going to get to the finish line, but none of that matters as much as starting. Taking that first step builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence leads to consistency, and consistency leads to results. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't start with a perfect plan. They started with what they had. They made mistakes, they failed, they learned along the way, but they kept going. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't talent or luck, it's action. The willingness to start before they feel ready. The first step might be scary. It might be uncomfortable. It might mean stepping out of your comfort zone, risking failure or facing criticism. But growth never happens in comfort. If you stay where it's safe, if you never push yourself beyond what's familiar, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. Taking action doesn't mean you have to take massive leaps right away. It just means doing something, anything, that moves you forward. If you want to start a business, research your industry. If you want to write a book, write one page. If you want to get in shape, go for a walk. The size of the step doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're moving. Because once you start moving, everything else starts falling into place. Too often people overthink the process. They analyze every possible outcome, every possible failure, every reason why it might not work. But overthinking leads to inaction, and inaction leads to regret. One day you don't want to look back and wonder, what if? What if you had taken that chance? What if you had just started? Time will pass either way. A year from now, you can either be closer to your goals or still stuck in the same place, wishing you had started. The choice is yours. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important. Because once you take that step, you prove to yourself that you can do it. You break the cycle of fear. You step into a new mindset, one that says, I am capable, I am ready, and I am moving forward. Failure is one of the biggest fears people have, but the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Every great person who has ever achieved anything significant has faced failure. They've been rejected, knocked down, and told they weren't good enough. But the difference between them and everyone else is that they didn't let failure define them. They didn't let it stop them. Instead, they used it as fuel to come back stronger. Too many people see failure as the end. They take one loss, one rejection, one mistake, and they assume that means they're not meant to succeed. But failure is not final unless you quit. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every mistake is a lesson. Every rejection is redirection. And every loss is an opportunity to grow. Think about some of the most successful people in the world. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine if he had let that failure define him. Imagine if he had believed that one setback meant he wasn't good enough. But instead of quitting, he used that moment as motivation. He worked harder, pushed himself, and eventually became a legend. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school multiple times. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because they said he lacked imagination. If any of these people had let failure stop them, the world would have never seen their greatness. The reason they succeeded is because they understood that failure is just a chapter, not the whole story. When you fail, it's easy to feel embarrassed, disappointed, or discouraged. But instead of looking at failure as a dead end, look at it as feedback. What can you learn from it? How can you improve? What adjustments do you need to make? Failure is not a signal to stop. It's a lesson to adjust, refine, and keep going. Think about a baby learning to walk. They don't get it right the first time. They fall over and over again, but they don't sit down and say, maybe walking isn't for me. They keep trying, and eventually they succeed. That's the mindset you need to have. Every failure is teaching you something. Every mistake is making you better. Every setback is preparing you for something greater. The people who never fail are the people who never try. They stay in their comfort zones, never take risks, and never chase their dreams. But is that really living? Playing it safe might protect you from failure, but it also robs you of success. The only way to grow, to improve, to achieve your goals is to be willing to fail. Some of the best breakthroughs in history came from failures. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of a winner. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. The road to success is not smooth. It's filled with obstacles, disappointments, and setbacks. But every time you fail and keep going, you're building resilience. You're proving to yourself that you are stronger than any challenge. You're showing the world that nothing can break you. So don't run from failure. Don't let it scare you into quitting. Embrace it, learn from it, use it as motivation, because every great success story is also a story of perseverance. Every champion has scars. Every winner has lost before they won. And if you keep pushing, keep believing, and keep taking action, your comeback will be greater than your setback. Discipline is often the missing ingredient in the pursuit of success. It's easy to get excited about a new goal or a new dream, but the thrill of that initial inspiration fades over time, and what remains is the grind, the daily commitment, the sacrifices, and the steady effort required to see it through. Motivation is powerful, but it's fleeting. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. When you first set a goal, the vision of success is clear. You can see the end result, a successful business, a fit body, a published book, a finished degree. The desire to achieve that goal feels urgent and real, and you're ready to do whatever it takes to get there. But as the days, weeks, and months pass, that excitement starts to wear off. The work becomes harder, the challenges become bigger, and the distractions become more tempting. It's in these moments that discipline becomes the deciding factor. Discipline means doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. It means showing up when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you'd rather stay in bed or watch TV. It means pushing through resistance and continuing to take action, even when it feels like progress is slow or non-existent. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality, because it requires you to keep working when others would give up. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it comes from talent alone. While talent can certainly give you an advantage, it's discipline that makes talent effective. You can have all the natural ability in the world, but if you don't apply it consistently, if you don't put in the hours of practice, learning, and effort, then talent will only take you so far. Discipline is what takes you to the next level. Take athletes, for example. The most talented athletes don't always win the game. It's the ones who are disciplined in their training, who show up for every practice, who push through the pain and the fatigue, who consistently put in the work day after day, who rise to the top. Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian in history, didn't get there just because of his natural ability. He got there because of his discipline, his commitment to getting in the pool every single day, even when the rest of the world was sleeping. Discipline is also about consistency. You don't have to make massive leaps every single day, but you have to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may be. You might not see dramatic progress in the short term, but over time, those small, disciplined actions will compound and lead to results. Success isn't built in one big moment. It's built in the everyday actions you take to get closer to your goal. Think about a tree growing from a seed. In the beginning, it's barely noticeable. You can't see the roots spreading beneath the soil, the small growth happening under the surface. But every day, that tree is working, its roots reaching deeper, its trunk growing stronger. One day, it breaks through the soil, and the growth is visible. That's what discipline does for you. You may not see immediate results, but you're laying the foundation for something great. Discipline also requires sacrifice. You can't have it all. If you want to achieve your goals, you have to make hard choices. You may have to give up late nights, weekends, or even social events. You might have to say no to distractions and focus on what truly matters. This is where the real test of discipline comes in, when you have to choose between short-term pleasure and long-term gain. Every choice you make, every action you take, is either moving you closer to or further from your goals. But discipline isn't just about making sacrifices. It's about creating habits. When you make success a habit, it becomes part of who you are. You don't have to force yourself to work. You don't have to rely on motivation because it's ingrained in you. The discipline to show up every day, to do what needs to be done, becomes second nature. And when that happens, you've truly mastered the art of success. Success is not a one-time event. It's a culmination of consistent effort. Discipline is what ensures that effort continues, even when the excitement fades, even when the obstacles seem overwhelming. It's what turns your dreams into a reality because it's the ability to do what needs to be done, no matter how tough it gets. Without discipline, your vision will remain just that. But with discipline, you can make it real. The people you surround yourself with have an incredible influence on your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your success. They can either elevate you or hold you back. If you want to grow, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you must be intentional about the people you allow into your life. You need a circle that challenges you, supports you, and inspires you to reach new heights. It's easy to overlook the impact that your environment has on you. The people you interact with daily shape your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. If you surround yourself with negativity, with people who are constantly complaining or discouraging you, you will start to absorb that negativity. Your goals will feel harder to reach, your dreams will feel further away, and your sense of self-worth will diminish. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in you, who hold you accountable, and who push you to be better, everything changes. Look at the most successful individuals in the world. They didn't get to where they are by staying around people who were comfortable, complacent, or limited. They sought out people who were ahead of them, people who could mentor them, challenge their thinking, and help them grow. They intentionally placed themselves in environments that fostered growth, whether that meant attending seminars, joining mastermind groups, or simply building relationships with people who were operating at a higher level. You see, success is not just about your individual efforts. It's about who you're learning from, who you're collaborating with, and who is in your corner. The people you surround yourself with either push you toward your goals or drag you away from them. You cannot afford to let your time and energy be drained by people who don't align with your vision. It's important to remember that the people around you should be both supportive and challenging. Support is crucial. We all need people who believe in us when we doubt ourselves, who celebrate our wins, and who pick us up when we fall. But challenge is just as important. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. You need people who are willing to hold you accountable, who aren't afraid to tell you when you're slacking or making excuses. You need people who won't let you settle for mediocrity, who will constantly encourage you to stretch beyond your limits. It's not just about choosing the right friends. It's about choosing the right mentors and role models too. A mentor is someone who has been where you want to go and who can help guide you on your journey. They've faced the challenges, navigated the obstacles, and learned the lessons you need to know to avoid mistakes and fast-track your growth. A good mentor is someone who doesn't just give you advice. They show you the way, leading by example and offering wisdom through their own experiences. Sometimes, though, the hardest part about surrounding yourself with the right people is recognizing when it's time to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. This isn't always easy, but it's necessary for growth. If someone is constantly bringing negativity, pulling you away from your dreams, or holding you back from becoming who you're meant to be, it's time to evaluate that relationship. This doesn't mean you have to cut people out of your life completely, but it does mean you need to set boundaries and protect your peace and your focus. Your energy is precious, and you can't afford to waste it on people who are draining it. The power of a strong, supportive, and challenging circle cannot be underestimated. When you surround yourself with people who are aligned with your values, who share your passion, and who encourage you to grow, you create an environment where success becomes inevitable. You feed off each other's energy, learn from each other's experiences, and celebrate each other's wins. You become part of a collective force that propels everyone forward, a force that is unstoppable when everyone is committed to growth and excellence. But this circle isn't just about what others can give to you, it's about what you bring to the table as well. You can't expect to be surrounded by high-level individuals if you're not willing to be that kind of person yourself. If you want to be around people who push you to be your best, you need to show up with the same mindset. You need to bring your own energy, your own discipline, and your own growth mindset to the group. Leadership is often about serving others and helping them grow. And when you commit to being a force of growth within your own circle, you naturally attract the right people. In the end, success is a team effort. It's about having the right people by your side who will encourage you when you're down, challenge you when you're too comfortable, and remind you of your potential when you forget. It's about choosing to be in environments that make you better, learning from those who have already walked the path, and surrounding yourself with individuals who believe in your dreams as much as you do. Your circle is your ecosystem. It can either nourish your dreams or drain them. Choose wisely. Keeping God first in your life is the most powerful principle you can embrace on your journey to success. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of personal goals, to focus solely on what you can do, but true success is about aligning your purpose with a higher calling. When you place God at the center of everything you do, you're not only inviting divine guidance and strength into your life, but you're also recognizing that your purpose is much bigger than just your own ambitions. Trusting in God's plan for your life requires faith and surrender. It means recognizing that while you may have goals, aspirations, and dreams, God has a greater vision for you. His plans are often beyond what you can imagine, and sometimes they take you down unexpected paths. But when you trust that He knows what's best for you, you begin to approach each decision, each challenge, and each opportunity with a sense of peace, knowing that you are walking in alignment with His will. The key to success isn't just about achieving wealth, recognition, or accomplishments. It's about fulfilling your divine purpose. God's plan for your life is not just about material success. It's about the impact you have on others, the legacy you leave, and the way you use your gifts and talents to serve those around you. When you put God first, you begin to understand that your purpose is tied to something much deeper than yourself. Your success is no longer just about personal gain. It becomes about serving others, making a difference in the world, and walking in the light of God's calling. Living with God at the center of your life also means living with integrity, compassion, and humility. It's easy to get lost in the pursuit of success and forget the values that truly matter. But when you seek to honor God in everything you do, you keep your focus on what's truly important. You treat others with respect, you act with honesty, and you seek to lift up those around you rather than stepping on them to climb higher. Success that's built on faith and values is the kind of success that lasts and brings lasting fulfillment. God's timing is another powerful reminder when it comes to success. We live in a world that's obsessed with instant gratification. We want things now. We want results, progress, and rewards immediately. But God's timing is perfect. His plan unfolds according to His will, not ours. There will be times when you feel like things are moving too slowly or not at all, but trust that God is preparing you for what's ahead. He's teaching you patience, perseverance, and trust. When you learn to wait on His timing, you become more resilient and better equipped to handle the challenges that lie ahead. Putting God first also means seeking His guidance in your decisions. It means asking Him for wisdom, direction, and clarity.